Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Talk with Lizzy podcast. I'm your host, Lizzy, and we are back with another special guest. This is actually a returning guest. I had her on my first season, one of the seasons. I can't remember which one, but she came on and got to talk a little bit about her first album, and now she's coming on to talk about her second, and I'm very excited. Her name is Lauren, and we get to hear a little bit about her story and how that really she expresses that in her music, and I'm so excited to share that. So without further ado, let's hear Lauren's story and about her new album.
You've come on before, obviously. Super exciting. That was, 2 years
2022,
ago?
right before Letters. So.
Yeah, crazy. So everyone go listen to that episode because that one was super fun. But this time we get to talk about some new stuff. So do you just want to give a quick introduction?
Yeah. My name is Lauren, obviously. I make music. I have released an album and an EP and a couple of random singles here and there. I don't know. And I am getting ready for album 2. So that's very exciting.
Yes.
And I don't know what else to introduce or anything.
Do you just want to kind of tell us, what has your journey been through music? What got you into music? How have you kind of been guided through that, I guess?
Yeah.
And then where are you now?
Well, as I said the first time I was here, music's been a part of my family forever. I started writing when I was 11. It's been passed down. I remember just being super little, and all of family gatherings and everything was all music related, and there was always random spurts of music everywhere throughout my childhood. So it was always super fun. And I started writing when I was about 11. My mom brought home a ukulele, and I just was like, okay, well, here we go. And I started writing down some music, and it wasn't until I was about 13, 14 that I was like, oh, I would actually really love to do this one day. And worked on it 2 years. I was 18 when I dropped, but it took 2 years to get letters out. Went through that whole process a lot of the time, from the time I decided I wanted to record to the time that I actually started to do stuff. Was just research. How do I do this? I don't have a recording deal. I'm a homeschooled 15-year-old kid who has no idea what she's doing. And then I just figured it out, and it was such a blessing. There was a artist who was just a friend of a friend's, or was in a class at Connections or somehow. I don't know how we got connected, but he had been doing this for a while. And I was like, oh, well, tell me how to do it, because I've been looking for it. And it was such a God thing, because I was so excited to hear about it. And then I just started doing it. Yes. And I'm here. Letters was album 1, and I just kept going. It's always been a passion of mine. And fast forward, it'll be 2025 when album number 2 drops.
Crazy.
Exciting.
And then you were telling me earlier, before we were recording, you had some more updates on journey stuff. Do you want to share some of
that? The first album was a little bit of, I didn't do a lot of it myself. I did recording, like I was saying, it was one layer of guitar, one layer of voice, right? This one is going to be a lot different. I was listening back on our first episode to kind of get me prepared for it. Last night I was listening, and I was like, oh my gosh, so much has changed, because not only is there so many different layers to this, just each individual song, there's so many different layers. All of it from start to finish, every song, except for the exception of Trainwreck, which I'm going to use it because I might as well can, because it was a little expensive of a song. But from start to finish, it's been all self-produced.
Wow.
100%, everything you hear, it's written by me, recorded by me, produced, mixed, mastered, all the levels, all of the inspo front to back was all self-done, which is really exciting. And I was super proud of it. And that was such a God thing, because I was looking around, and I was like, okay, God, like if I'm going to get another producer, if I'm going to get another, because things happen, he's amazing, but just things happen between me and my producer, and I'm like, okay, well, this is too expensive for me to keep going and doing this. And so, the Lord just was like, here. And I'm like, okay, well, I have so many things, and now I'm like doing it all by myself, which is really exciting.
That's awesome.
So I do the whole process front to back all by myself.
Cool.
It's crazy.
So you said Trainwreck was different, though.
Trainwreck was different.
So did you do that with the producer from before? Okay.
Yeah, that one was actually the first single right after Letters. So
okay.
That one's already released. That one's already out. I'm putting it on the album because if it costs me that much money, better put it to work somehow. So it's going to bring me in a little bit of money too. But yeah, so that was done with an engineer. That was simply voice for me. I just recorded my vocals, and then he put together all of the tracks, which was super cool to watch. It just cost me a lot more than I was expecting. And as I don't know, I was 18, just turned 18. That was a lot of money for someone who didn't have a job. So I was like, can't keep doing that. I have too many things to save up for.
Yeah. So is that how long did you work with that producer?
Letters and then Trainwreck.
Oh.
So it was a total of 9 songs that I worked with him for. And then that December, I put out like a small EP of like, that was all me, like just guitar and voice, like stripped down vocals. And then starting in June 2023 is when I started album 2.
Nice.
So that was really exciting.
Cool. And do you do that, like, you still go to a studio, or do you have like something at home? Oh, you do.
I have a home studio. Yeah. Kind of what you got like here. Like it's just it's like a home studio that, I have this janky little setup that I like set it up to my phone, and it's like they're like the Apple like wired earbuds, and I'm like recording it, but it actually turns out really, really well. And after we finish up here, maybe I'll show you some.
Yes,
it'll be fun.
Yes, I want to sneak peek.
And yeah, no, it's a whole little setup that I got going, and
cool.
It's really fun, but it's really stressful at times. But
yeah, I feel it.
Yeah,
I feel it. What has been just like your favorite part about this specific album? I know obviously about you just doing it all yourself, but maybe some other specifics.
Ooh, there's so many things. I am really raw with this album. Like, which kind of ties into like the story behind it too. It's just, there's been so many things that it's evolved from so many different things. I don't know. It's like, it started out as one thing. It started out as like kind of an escape from my own reality. And then kind of turned into like, oh, no, this is my testimony. This is my testimony album. And that's why it's so special to me, because I'm legitimately telling my story, telling the things that are deep down that I'm like, this needs to either get out or I'm going to like implode or something. Like, so it's been like this process of healing. And I think that's what my favorite part of creating this, or when I'm listening back to it. A lot of my other songs have been like either like cries to God to help me out. And I've been through so much, but it's either been cries to God or fantasies of like good times. Right. But now looking back on these, I've got some really happy songs on this album. I've got some like really raw emotion of just joyous moments. And that is all genuine, like not fantasized, not like God gave me something like this. It's just fully just like, I can look back on that memory and be like, look at how far I've come from this. And I've gotten to heal so much through this album, which is part of the reason why I wanted to come on here and share that, because it's such a story for me. I've grown, I've healed so much. And so it's kind of a little bit of a sneak peek there, but
can you give us some of that story? Like, I think this,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
This kind of gets into like a little bit of like personal
share what
stuff.
you can and what you want. Don't worry about you know,
Yeah.
you can't give too much or too little. Just what you want.
Okay. Growing up, I don't know where it started, how it started, but growing up, I really struggled mentally. Still do. Side note, but like depression and anxiety and self-sabotage and those kind of things, just it was a constant cycle. I don't know when it started. I just know that it's been going on for a long time. And all like it got really bad like a couple of years ago. I think right after Letters released, like the summer after that. So I guess that was like last year. It got really tough. And the Lord has really, really helped me through this. And when I looked back on like, okay, well, what am I going to write about with album 2 when I was ready for it? It was like so obvious to me, like, no, this is what I need to write about, because he sent so many people. He sent my boyfriend and his family. Like, I mean, you just met him, and he's just so sweet to me. And his family just like brought me in right when I needed it the most. My family went through a lot in 2023, and that kind of brought like a sense of like identity crisis. Like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know, like, I don't know anything. And I kept telling Patrick, that was right when we started to date, like, that I was like, I don't know anything. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's up. And through that, he got to show me that true, like, unconditional love. And his family did, and just came right alongside me. Like, no, we're going to help you. We're going to get you through. And he sent some amazing friends, amazing people, amazing coworkers, and songs. And God never, ever showed me that he was absent in my life. And he just kept saying, like, I'm here. I know you're hurting, but I'm here. And from there, I just broke, and I just started to repiece myself back together slowly, even though I didn't want to. I just started to piece myself back together, and through those things, and then I started writing music. And it was originally supposed to be, this album was supposed to be an escape from reality. So I was going to write the most cheesiest, silliest, make me smile songs, like no more sad songs, no more this, no more that. Like, I needed to force myself into a better reality, right? Like, turn on the switch and just be like, all right, we're going. But as time went on, and as I started to heal from things, and as I started to write about things, those things turned into an escape from reality. Like, the album turned from an escape to reality to, this is my story. But I actually kind of want to write about this raw emotion, but everything else can be fake. But then this song also, but then this song also, but then this. And then 12 songs later, I've got an entire album where I just like look back and I'm like, man, that's my healing. That was my healing, right? You get to listen to that. Like, and it's such a miracle that I'm here, and I would not be here if it weren't for those things. And it's just, I look at it and I just thank God. And I've got my first therapy session coming up. Like, I finally and it's just it's that process of like, I want to heal now.
Yeah.
And I want to get better. And I want to have a happy life. And I mean, that this album is just the essence of that.
That's so cool.
Which is how I'm orchestrating it and how I'm constructing the whole thing. And even with the album clues that are, dropping every like twice a week or something, like, this whole album is going to tell that story. And this one's for me. The first one was for everyone else. Like, hey, someone needs to hear this. I remember telling you, like, someone needs to hear this. Share. This one's for me.
I love that.
And so that was kind of like where I just stood. I was like, this one's for me.
That's beautiful. I just like awestruck, just like speechless about that, because I think that is like the most precious, beautiful moment of like, it's not like, yeah, people are going to enjoy it, and people are going to find something like someone is going to need to hear it and they're going to hear it, but that's like this one was for you.
This
like,
is for me, yeah.
You like that's just so beautiful. I love how you said that.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is one thing that you would want to say to your younger self who is dealing with those things still?
I don't know. So many things. I think the one thing that I would want to do, like maybe not just even words, just I would just want to give her a hug and say it's not her fault that these things are happening and it's gonna get better and your dreams do come true and you would be amazed at how far God has taken you, but never give up. Like, I don't know. That's. I would just want to look at her and just be like, "You're gonna get through so much." Yeah, and I know because I knew.
What song on the album has been? It's just your like favorite one.
Wait for me. That one's already out, but like that one definitely is because that was my cry. That was my cry to God. Being like, okay, God, let's do this. Let's come on. Like, just I don't know how to even describe it. Like the lyrics and everything, just the way that I put it together and I wanted to put it together was just like that was the turning point. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite song. Yeah.
So you said that you wanted to give us a few like little fun details. Do you have any that you wanna?
Can I grab my phone really quick?
Yes, of
this
course.
was Face ID. Hi. This was my concept for writing this album.
Okay.
I wrote this poem. I don't know if I'm going to use it for anything, how I'm going to use it, where I'm going to use it, if I'm going to record it and put it on the album. I don't know how. But this is kind of sums up where I was going with this. And it says, a phoenix never stays the same. Once I was a girl with bright eyes and big dreams. My dreams seemed close at hand. Wrote letters of hope and stories of gold as I looked out into the world. But the world wasn't as great as it seemed. It broke me down and tore me to pieces. It set me aflame and watched me burn. The crowd spoke hate to my bones. Then, up from the ashes, almost suddenly, this little girl grew up. Started blooming in the dust of her path. Past, little flowers and vines birthed from her healing. Grew into the field where you could see. This is her testimony.
I love that.
So the album's called Ashes. And I took that phoenix, like the story of the phoenix, where it dies and from its flame, from its ashes, something, and I'm getting chills right now just talking about it. From those ashes, something beautiful is born until it's time for that to change again. And then something new comes up. So album 3 is already up here, but like, it's that moment of like from where I felt broken, where I felt burnt to pieces, burnt out, where I wanted everything, nothing but everything to end, something else was birthed. Something else, and God used that to just, from the ashes, I come back stronger. So that's the album title, and I wanted it to I just wanted it to be a picture of like me coming back from the flames. So
that's so cool. And obviously when it like is released, it will have been shared, but hasn't been shared yet, right?
There's only a couple of people that know that.
Okay. I feel special.
Yeah, you're special. There's only a couple people that know that. By the time this is released, my plan is to get the announcement out by December.
Okay.
But we'll see how these clues go. I've got like 9 of them, lined up, and I'm like, let's see how it goes. There's not as much, interaction with it as I would like, but it's fine. I do it again. This is for me. So that's all that matters with it. The merch is going to be so self-done. Like, I'm going to try to find a Cricut, like, and just, like, buy it from, like, Hobby Lobby and, like, this project has been just like, it's about me. Like, not in a selfish way, but like, I can do it. Yeah. I can do this. Yeah. And just like an accomplishment. And I cannot wait to like share with my children one day and like share with my family. I'm so excited to share it with my family and, you know, my boyfriend's family. And like, and as like my family grows from where I'm at, like just seeing how this album is going to change my life and, you know, see where it goes and where it, what, you know, who it touches and like, and so yeah, anyways.
I think that's awesome, and it truly is where the most beautiful like pieces of art come from, is when it's for you. Like, yeah, you're sharing with the world, which is just so cool, but it's when it like comes from deep inside you, and it's like it truly is something between you and the Lord, and it's wonderful that like the Lord has been like, I don't know how to put this properly, but you're still sharing it and getting to share your story, which again, that's why I did the podcast. So I think that that's wonderful. Yeah. And you're getting to do that while also letting this be something for you. Like that simultaneous, it's not, oh, well, it's for me, so I can't share it. Yeah. It's like they can work together. Yeah. And so I think that that's really cool.
Thank you.
Obviously, we're talking about just some like things that were happening with your family. Obviously, we don't have to go into that, but are there any worries with sharing any of these songs that you're like worried about a certain person listening or anything like that?
I was very choosy about what I'm releasing. I have songs still in the vault, I don't know, that I don't know if I ever will share with people. I am like, I know that a lot of artists, or some artists, I don't know what the percentages is, will write like a diss track or something, where it's like, you know, this happened, like, oops, if you feel bad about it, like, like, I don't know what their process is, but I have never been the one to want to do that to someone. I don't, and if I ever start writing diss tracks, someone better like confront me about that and be like, what's going on? Like, because I'm never going to be that person. Like, I don't want to be that person. If I'm writing something, I think that's why like our careers or our businesses have like so aligned, is because I'm also in the storytelling business. And I think that's where, if I'm going to share a story, it's because it's a story that I've been through that someone else most likely have, because I refuse to believe that I'm the only one going through these things, or that I've ever gone, like, I refuse to believe that there's ever one person that has been through, aside from Jesus, has been through this and no one else has experienced anything similar to it. So if I'm writing a song and if I'm releasing a song, it's because, hey, someone else might know that too, or have made someone else can't speak. Someone else may have been through something very similar to it, and I don't want them to feel alone. So roundabout way, no. Now I'm thinking through the track. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything in there that, at least off the top of my head, that I'm like, ooh, I hope this person doesn't think this that way or this way. I have been very choosy about what I put on the album, where it's still telling the story, but it's not like throwing anyone under the bus, or it's like not like, okay, Lauren, we didn't need to know that much about your life. Like, you know, I just want people to be able to relate to it and just not feel alone, because, hey, I've been through it. Like, I've been through it. It's okay. So
I found that in storytelling, it's interesting as Christians of, especially even like with people's testimonies of, just that careful balance of having gone through it and wanting to talk about it, and the importance of still sharing that story while also not throwing someone under the bus, not being like, this specific person did this. Like, for me, again, I'm not trying to like take away from the story at all, but I've been very open about my sexual assault and everything, and so it's hard because I know there are people who know exactly who it is. Like, I talk about it so they know, but I've tried to be like, not just saying specifically who.
Yeah.
Like
this could happen to anyone.
Yes.
This has happened to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, I've never shared his name anywhere. But, like, obviously, if you already know me and you know who I was dating at the time, you know who it is.
Yeah.
And so I think it's hard because it's like you still want to share that piece while not being, like, hurting someone.
Yeah.
And that one, obviously, sharing that, if he were to hear it, he would know exactly who he was and would obviously be probably upset.
Yeah.
But, like, you did it. So, you know, can't really say much after that. But still being careful to not be like, this specific person did this to me.
At this
and you
exact time, in this exact way. Like, we all don't like, I get that.
So, I just like that you're very tasteful in that way of, like, share your story, but not. Because it's such a balance.
Yeah.
It's a hard balance. And especially when it's like someone could be such a big character in your story that to leave out certain details is hard to share your story because you're like, you know, well, I've already recorded the episode, but the episode won't be out till next week when people are listening. Yeah. Like her and I talked about that because it has to do with, she wrote a musical, which I guess this is kind of a spoiler alert. But she wrote a musical about her life story, which it was so good. I'm so excited to
I can't wait to listen to it.
Like actually see her musical. But a big character in it is her dad and what her dad did. And she's like, well, obviously I have to say who it is, but it's hard because I don't want him to get like mad about it because I'm not trying to focus on what he did, but the effects that it has. So I'm trying, and it was just very interesting. So spoiler alert, but this like balance of still talking about it without being like, I'm hating on them. I'm just trying to genuinely talk about it and share. And it's such a hard.
It's hard.
Balance.
And there's things that like, I mean, I'm writing songs now and I'm releasing them now in this album that have to do with a boyfriend from like a couple of years ago, which have been, I've had to process these things. So there was a couple of things that I've written about those moments that, first of all, amazing songs. Oh my gosh, they turned out so good. Like, I'm so excited to like hear them. I listen to these songs, like the files that I have. I listen to them on the way to work or something.
I love that you do that because I could never in my life listen to myself. I edit an episode, it goes out, never touch it again.
You're like,
I will not listen.
Can't do it.
If someone puts on a TikTok of mine, a podcast of mine in front of me, I will lose it.
Oh my gosh.
So
I used to be like that. You know, I think in my line of work, I have to be okay with it because I gotta listen to it all the time. Like, so there's just things I'm like, okay, well, I'm used to it. Like, there's certain days and I'm like, no, I don't.
Well, it's like be proud of it. Like, be proud of what you've done. And I'm not to say I'm not proud of
No,
what
I
I've
get
done.
it. I get it. It's really weird. It's really weird the first couple, or like if you're not used to it or if you don't like it, it's definitely very weird. But no, like it is really hard. Like we were going back to kind of what we were saying before that. It's like it is really hard, and there's things that I've written about, like things that have passed. So maybe a couple of songs will come out later, discreetly, because I'm kind of still in the middle of it. That's the thing. Is like I'm also kind of still in the middle of dealing with the aftermath of what happened, and dealing with the aftermath of just things that happened in my family that I'm not ready to share yet. That I don't want that to be on the album. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to confront those things and have that out to the world. But maybe when the situation has passed, maybe when we've gotten used to it or over it or like worked through the healing behind it, then maybe I can go back and revisit those emotions after they've been healed, once I can confront them without like destroying myself about it,
and hopefully, like you said, therapy. You'll be going like, that'll help you heal through it.
I think so. Yeah. So try not to write too much about current events, but like current emotions, Like, like there's a couple of songs. There's a song that are very much current event. Like I've got some love songs in there. Like I'm so excited. it actually opens the album.
Oh.
It opens the album. Track 1 is called For the First Time. And it's about my boyfriend. He's amazing.
Yes.
And, you know, there's this one line that says, but this one's different. Like, you know, usually I'm like this, but this one's different.
I like it.
So that's the song I'm actually going to show you after we get off here and figure all that out. So
excited.
But like, yeah, it's like some of these are like good emotions and I need to live in the moment. And, you know, if a season ends, which not saying it about like the boyfriend, because like that's, you know, we've already talked about this, like that one's not really going to end. But
maybe the dating season.
There you go. Hint, hint, hint. No, like if a season ends, I'm still gonna look back on that with smiles and happiness because of what I created through it, and like turning hurt into beauty, and like it's just a fun process. I love what I do so much, and you know, there's caution things that I have to let go around.
Yeah.
Privacy things. Obviously, I'm not going to put my life on display for everybody, but it's a good. I want to be like vulnerable. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be authentic, and I don't know. I'm rambling now because I'm like excited, but like
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
No, I get it, and oh my gosh, I just lost the question I was going to ask you.
It's okay.
Where did it go? It just
it's gone.
It went poof. It disappeared.
It's okay.
Oh, I was gonna ask. Obviously, you were talking about putting some songs like in the vault. You know, vault, whatever. Which it obviously had to do a lot with some like harder ones.
Yeah.
But originally, you were talking about how this was supposed to be very silly, like very upbeat, which. It seems like you have some really joyous ones on there. But do you have any, like, silly ones that you did end up recording that are also in the vault? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
I mean, I guess I explained that a little bit. Like, they're not, like, whimsical, silly, like, crazy things. But, like, no, there's definitely, like, even that first one that I was talking about. That one's super fun. That one's super upbeat. That one's bop. My phone is going off. But, like,
mine did too.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well.
I was like, it sounded like I farted. It was not that, I promise.
Okay. But no, like, there are some very fun ones in there that it's, like, definitely, like, ooh, this one, like, I can, like, you would put it on the radio, like, this is kind of another thing that I wanted to just, songs that I could put on the radio while I'm driving, just, like, those kind of things, instead of, you know, all ballads, or all this, or all that, like, I wanted there to be a variety. So, yes, there are very much some fun ones going on there, so.
Will we ever get to see them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you do want to put them out
still? The hard ones, or the silly goofy ones.
The silly
goofy ones. Yeah, they'll definitely at some point make their all of them will at some point make their way out.
Cool.
And just some of them are hard to do right. Like, and as I'm really new to this whole like recording and like producing process by myself. I want to do them right so I can do them silly, but also good. Like, I don't want it to... Maybe there'll be voice memos that I'll release into a different album or something. Or bonus tracks. I don't know.
There you go.
So maybe you've given me an idea.
Oh, out there too.
Yeah. So, we'll see.
That's cool. Exciting.
Yeah.
What would you say to anyone who is wanting to get into, like, the music industry and wanting to do... Like, obviously, I know you're doing it, like, all by yourself, but obviously you still have some cool insight to, not necessarily, like, you know, I don't know how to put that. You're in the music industry, but not, like, in the...
Like, it's, like, not, like, spotlight.
It's like
It's
like what I do with writing.
I'm a small artist.
Yeah. What I do with my writing, where I'm, like, not published by one of the giant publishing companies, but I'm still... a professional author who
that's a hard one. I would say do it, but remember that your future self is going to listen to it, and it's really hard to take things off the internet, so of course I want to support people who want to do that and who want to be an artist or want to be, you know, writing books or things. But, you know, I would say that, like, pray about it, get it to a place where you're really, really proud of, like, even if it's in the moment that you really don't just like halfway finish a project.
Yeah.
Because when I was little, like, I would write books when I was little, and they were not good. They are not good, and I just would write. So, like, but I have a couple of stories that I've written. I haven't obviously not released them anything, but like they're tucked away in the family folders and stuff that, like, you know, I'm very proud of. Even if I look back, I'm like, ooh, that's the grammar, or ooh, the storyline, ooh. Like, I look back and I'm proud of those.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, make sure you're proud of it. Make it to where you're proud of it. Whether you have any resources or no resources, make sure you're proud of it. Create something that you're proud of, and then pray about where to go from it next. Whether that's releasing it, whether that's keeping that for later or for your family or whatever. Like, 100% go after your dreams. But pray about it, because God has a specific purpose for each person, and he's going to lead you through that, and he's going to guide you through it. And what I've learned is, if it's not the right time or the right place, it typically doesn't work out.
Yeah.
That's just in life. That's just a general thing in life. Like, if it's not the right place or time, typically you're not going to do it very well. But if it's in God's timing, he's going to slide you right through. He's going to just be like, it's good. It's got, like, it's right. It's a beautiful thing when God does it.
Absolutely. So, I love that.
And work hard. That's another, like, work hard and trust God.
Yes.
It's like the only advice I can give there.
What, obviously, we've talked a lot about how this album is for you, but obviously, as an artist, you have goals for these things. So what would be your biggest goal for this album?
Merch. I want to get merchandise, and I want to get, maybe in the future, some music videos to put out. I haven't thought that far ahead, but, you know, maybe in this summer I can revisit those things.
Cool.
As far as viewing wise, not really. I'm just trusting God that he's going to take it where it needs to go. If it, like, the most, like, random, like, the most, like, high-end achieving goal, like, if it blows up, cool, awesome, great. Like,
who doesn't want that?
Like, right? Like,
yeah.
that's really cool. Like, I worked really hard on that. That would be awesome. But if it doesn't, if it's a flop, it was still for me. Like, that's okay. Like, my family is going to love it. I'm going to love it. My kids are going to know about it and going to hopefully love it. Like, you know, like, so as far as, like, those, like, viewing goals, like, I don't really have, like, you know, this many views or this. I just want it to touch people. I just want to hear stories about it. Like, hey, I've gone through this, that I heard your song and it reminded me of this story. Or not, or be like, just knowing that, like, God is going to take care of it. And obviously, like, I'm a little bit more active on, like, social media now, and, like, content creating. It's awful. I hate it. But, you know, it does bring in the attention that I want. Yeah. So, you know, obviously I'm going to be doing a little bit more content creation and, like, videos and promoting and stuff. But, you know, I would love to do a show too, which is already in my brain. I've kind of got a couple things getting there to do, like, just maybe a one-night show. Like, got a couple of things that I'm starting there, but just doing it right and just having fun with it is my biggest goal here. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Very exciting. Is there any other little things you want to add?
I can look back. I don't think so. I think I pretty much have just covered all of my everything that I needed to go, so I think I'm good.
Awesome. Well, my last question I ask everyone is just, how can we be praying for you?
That's a good question. That I get it done. It's so close, but the holidays are coming up really fast, and it's gonna be really busy. That I'm gonna kind of just be, like, sliding it into, like, the most, like, the tightest crunches ever. Like, I have, like, 2 hours. I gotta do this. Like, it's just getting it done, and having the motivation to get it done is definitely something I would love prayer for. And then having it go where it needs to go.
Yeah. So, well, I'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
I know my listeners do too. So, yay! Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I definitely did. It was really fun to get to talk to Lauren. Her and I graduated together, so it was really fun to talk to her again. I'm very excited to just be having so many amazing guests come on the podcast. It truly is such a blessing. And so thank you guys. Make sure you go and you follow Lauren for all of her content and her music. All of it will be in the show notes. Make sure you're also following us on all platforms for the Talk with Lizzy podcast. I am so excited for so many more new episodes this season. This is our 3rd episode, so excited. I'll see you guys for next week's episode. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless.